One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care. Home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bond the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slayed. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes bands. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slayed. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah, doing cane things. Living super clean. That done came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause you know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be help me, shout let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
What it is, ladies and gentlemen, what it is. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Welcome to the Picking and Choosing podcast. I'm your host, Will Maybon, and we going to get this thing right. We're going to figure this thing out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get better every week. We're going to put in the time. We're going to put in the work, and we're going to try to bring y'all a better show each and every week. I want to give a special shout out to my man, Monologue McGad. That's my dog. That's my brother. That's the artist that you heard rapping that song King Things with his lovely wife, Miss Mono. Those are really good, near and dear friends of mine. Been rocking with that brother for approaching 2 decades now. Sheesh. Not 2 decades, almost a decade and a half. I got a little overzealous with it. But no, so yeah, my brother is a phenomenal artist. I used to manage him and some other artists back in the day. I was a terrible manager. They believed in me though, and the trust that we have. We built a strong relationship, a strong bond, and I became their role manager. And we had a lot of fun, man. Did a lot of cool things together. But that brother's amazing. He has a lovely family. Shout out to him and his wife. Appreciate them for allowing me to use their music on my show. He has a ton of other music that I'll probably introduce y'all to at some other point. And the brother said he's getting back in the studio, so I can't wait for my man to get back in the studio so we can hear that amazing music. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a good show for y'all today. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of talking today. The people who are going to talk are going to be some women who want to help us see things from their perspective. I believe that it's important for us men to listen to these ladies from time to time and actually hear them out. Try to figure out exactly what it is that these ladies are saying. Ask them some questions when we are confused. Give them some pushback, a little pushback, not to be argumentative, not to really challenge them, but a little pushback to see if their perspective could accept and withstand scrutiny. And so we want to hear what you ladies think. The question is from hello to I do. We want to find out how you ladies go about articulating the maturation process of love from hello to I do. So ladies, it's an open panel. Feel free to come in. We have somebody here now. She's actually, man, I'm sorry. You're the only one here right now. So we bring you up. You're going to have to start the show off. But what I would like to do is for us to listen to you ladies. Y'all break down to us y'all's perspective. There's no right or wrong answers. We may not agree with you, but it's not about us agreeing with you. It's about us hearing you, listening to you, gaining an understanding. I believe conflict is resolved when you use a 3-step process. The first step in that process, I believe, is acceptance. Ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Acceptance. Okay. Step 1 is acceptance. Accept the things, whether you agree with them or not. Accept them. I believe when you accept it, it softens your heart and it opens your ears. And it gives you the ability to take in the necessary information so that you could possibly gain an understanding. That is the step 2, ladies and gentlemen, understanding. You have to gain an understanding of what is being said. If you don't understand what is being said, there's no way you can determine if you agree or disagree, which is step 3, determining if you agree or disagree. So I would like for the brothers here to listen to these women. Listen. If you have some questions, ask the questions. The comment section is open. I'm going to try to pay attention to the comment section as best as I can. I don't have anyone moderating the show yet, as we're new in our early stages and we're not there yet. So when I get someone who moderates the show, then you guys can ask the questions. They'll get recognized right away. But gentlemen, listen, gain your understanding. Once you understand what it is that is being said, then you can determine if you agree or disagree. And then if the show goes well, which I'm hoping it does, we'll have a show next week with the gentleman. And we would like the gentleman to come in here and articulate to us what their thoughts are. Now, the gentlemen have a little bit of an unfair advantage because if we do get the ladies to participate today, the ladies are going to go first. And gentlemen get a week to prepare. Now, I wasn't even going to do another show for the gentlemen, but I figured we might as well, because I'm of the belief that dudes don't know what the hell they're doing. So it's real easy to throw women under the bus and say, oh, these women don't know what they're talking about. Well, the fellas don't know what they're talking about either. I think neither one of the sexes know what they're talking about. I think men are clueless and I think women are clueless. But I think if women express what their thoughts are, and if men are listening, first accepting, and then listening, and then if they gain an understanding, there'll be parts of what the women say that you actually do agree with. Vice versa, when the men go. And again, I think the men know what the hell they're talking about. But if the women listen, accept what the men are saying, listen to the things that they're saying, gain an understanding, and then determine if they agree or not. There's going to be some parallels. There's going to be some areas where you guys are lock and step. You're on the same page. And if we get to the point where you guys are on the same page, then we can at least process from there. We can take the things you guys agree on and we can say, hey, there's no need to argue about this. We're all in agreement. And then we can take the things you don't agree on. And when we find the things that you don't agree on, we can all come to the conclusion that those are the areas that need work. And then we don't have to say, because I don't agree with it, just abandon it. We don't have to try to come to a compromise. I think what we do is we get to a place where we start to negotiate. I think compromising is detrimental for relationships. I think compromises hinge too much on what it is that you're not getting. Hey, I'll give up this if you give up that. And it's like, where's the fun in that? How about you say this? I'll support you doing this if you support me doing that. Therefore, both people are getting what they want. This thing right here that he's agreeing to, he doesn't necessarily want her to do it. He's not necessarily in full support. And the thing that he's going to ask for, she's not necessarily in full support. But because she's getting what she wants, it should be very easy for him to get what he wants. Therefore, you two can work together and work as a team. And, all teams got a captain and all teams got people who are workhorses, and you got people who have better strategy. You got all these different components that come into play. And therefore, you guys can build a nice little nucleus. Anyways, I'm telling y'all a little bit too much. It's not my show to talk about. It's you ladies' show. So, ladies, let's see who's in here. We had our special guest, and she left the green room. So I don't know what happened. The link. I'm going to post the link right now on YouTube. Give me 1 second. All right, there's the link. Now, my lady picks out all of my wardrobe whenever I go live. So she told me this was a wonderful shirt to wear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. I am the trophy husband. Little play on words. All right, let me see something. Hold on. Okay. I will do that. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I'm out here with the dog.
Hello.
Hey.
Wait,
Sorry
hold on. Gotta let everybody know. Special shout out to Miss Mono. I don't know if y'all heard those crazy bars that y'all just heard somebody spitting a second ago, but that was none other than Miss Mono herself. What's up with you? How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't expect you to be in here. And I was like, oh shoot, look at Miss Mono in the house while we playing her jam.
Tuesdays are crazy for me, but I was like, no, I'm gonna come. And then I was a little nervous because you be going in. So I was like, don't know if I want to sacrifice myself tonight.
No, you good. I don't go in on YouTube. I don't create a safe space, but I want it to be a productive space. And I know when I go in on people, it's not always productive. So y'all don't got to worry about hearing me go in on nobody. I have a special day for going in on people. It's called my smoke show that I do on Thursdays. It hasn't been a smoke show yet. You know why?
Why?
Ain't nobody stepping to the throne.
Oh, okay.
So if they want to step up, I will happily humble them. So until then, we're going to do our shows on Tuesday, and we're going to figure out a way to be productive. We're going to figure out a way to give people some insight. We're going to figure out a way to learn some things. So we have 3 ladies on the panel, and y'all can take y'all time and introduce yourselves. I don't know if how y'all want to do this. Listen, I have a lot of questions that I can ask. So if y'all get stuck at any point, you could just answer the questions you have. But this process is supposed to be free flowing. I'll let you ladies talk at your leisure, give the perspective that you ladies think men need to hear. And then if you get stuck or if you kind of fall flat, I'll help you out a little bit by throwing a question on the screen. And you could just feed off the question. Most of y'all are probably going to zoom past my questions because my questions are done in an orderly fashion. And so if the question doesn't pertain to what you say or you're already past that point, you could ignore the question. All right. But it's just going to be on the screen for me to possibly ask or for you ladies to pick up and just flow off of that. But anyways, first and foremost, we have Miss Mono. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, please?
Yes, I go by Miss Mono. My husband is Monologue McGad. That was our song in the beginning. We've been married for 11 and a half years, dated for 6 months. We have 9 children altogether. We have 2 little ones. Everybody else is grown, either in college or out of college. I am a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool. We grow our own food. So yes, my views are going to be a little more traditional, Bible-based. Yeah, so that's me.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. And y'all heard her. She said 9 of them. 9 heartbeats outside of his and her heartbeat. Right. Now they got an interesting story that most people aren't ready for their story. I think only the mature people are ready to hear because the story has a lot of love, it got pain, it has excitement, adventure, it has a lot to unpack there. So y'all should check Miss Mono out. She has her own podcast. Shout out to podcast.
Oh, thank you. My podcast is Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. And I'm really just giving women advice on how to live a righteous Bible-based womanhood, how to be good wives, good moms, just, good servants.
For sure. So next we have, I'm just doing it in order of how they came on the stage. Next we have Miss Trinity. Now, Miss Trinity and we got some history on IG. Miss Trinity and I have been rocking with each other for about 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years.
Yep,
it's 3 years now. I remember the first time we went live. It was me, you, and Najee, and I was knocking y'all on the head. No, but it was all fun and games. Miss Trinity has a wealth of wisdom. She has a great perspective. I think that a lot of women should attach themselves to some of the things she say. I don't think any of us have all the answers on everything, but I definitely think we all have some jewels when we tap into our perspective and we can articulate ourselves in a good way. And I think Miss Trinity can articulate herself pretty well. So shout out to you, Miss Trinity. I'm sorry, I said Tiffany. Miss Trinity can articulate herself in a great way. So shout out to you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them about your podcast.
Well, I sure appreciate you bringing me up because I ain't never come to a space so, swanky before. I appreciate your kindly there, sir.
You're welcome, old country New York.
No, jokes aside, my name is Trinity. And what I do is that I counsel people. I like to teach women skills that they need, transferable skills that they can use in their everyday lives as well as to be able to use it in their marriage. I develop courses, I teach lessons on all things energy, vibration, frequency, shaping up one's reality. I'm now on TikTok at Wise Men Prefer, and I am building up a community there of women who desires to become wives for their husbands. And I too am biblically based. Everything I do is from scripture. That's the only way I know how to live life. And that's it. I'm not that spectacular.
Shout out to podcast.
I did. Wise Men Prefer on TikTok.
Oh, that's right. I thought it was the what happened to his and her gang?
Life.
Gotcha. Well, it is what it is. Y'all heard Wise Men Prefer on TikTok. By the way, I'm on TikTok now. I don't really go on Instagram that much because I'm shadow banned like crazy. I could be on Instagram for an hour, and they'll probably notify 5 people. So if y'all here right now, I don't know if y'all have subscribed to the podcast. Please hit that subscription button. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and share this to 5 people and turn on the notification bell. Now, some of y'all may get familiar with the fact that I go live on Tuesday nights, but I'm telling y'all, at some point, somebody gonna have some smoke for me, and we gonna do an impromptu Thursday night show. And if you don't got that notification bell on, you're gonna be like, "What? I missed it. I ain't hear nothing about it." By the way, the smoke show won't be long. They'll typically be about 5 to 10 minutes because I'm gonna pack them up and get them up out of there real fast. So if you don't have the notification bell on, you gonna miss it. Okay, you gonna miss it. Anywho, last but not least, until some other women decide to join the panel, we have Miss Tiara. Now, I've never met Miss Tiara. Thank you very much for showing up, Miss Tiara. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Peace, peace. So first, I want to say thank you for having me on your platform, and peace to the other goddesses on the panel. My name is Tiara. I go by Quiet Storm on Instagram. I am a healer. I'm a doula. I am a teacher. Honestly, I wear a lot of different hats. I'm a mother of 5. I have 3 of the 5 living with me. And I'm just all about the holistic space. I'll also be coming from a biblical perspective, but also just a spiritual lens as well. But that's about it.
All right, you got a podcast you want to shout out?
Oh,
Huh? Tiara?
oh yeah, sorry. Actually, I do. I have 2 podcasts. One is Testimony Tuesdays, and the other is Matriarch Mondays. I was doing them on Instagram, but Instagram recently said that you have to have at least 1,000 followers. So I'm going to be switching over to YouTube.
Shout out to you. Definitely make that transition, and best of luck to you in your endeavors with your podcast. We have a fan. Oh, you are. We have a fan in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a small little intermission to shout this brother out. I don't know if this is a fan or maybe this is a little inappropriate. Might be somewhat of a stalker. Bam, right there. That guy right there. Tell Miss Mono I said, let me get her number. She's married, sir. Sir, she's married. There's no way I'm gonna let you encroach on my man's wife right in my face. But no, that's the husband of Miss Mono. That's Monologue McGad, the brother whose song that we played earlier today, featuring his lovely wife. Shout out to him for allowing me the permission to use his music, as I said earlier. No, I think the song is amazing. If y'all didn't hear the lyrics, I suggest y'all listen to it again. On the outro, I will play the song again. And maybe we may do an intermission and play the song, because I think y'all should listen to the words. You can forget his 2 verses. You should focus on that last verse. That last verse got some fire to it. It got some thunder behind it. Now, ladies, I implore you to listen to the 3rd verse. All right. So anyways, we'll try to throw that in there after these ladies have the opportunity to share what they need to share. So ladies, I'm about to turn it over to you guys. Miss Mono, I'm gonna let you go first. Well, actually, Tiara can go first because Tiara technically was up here first. Then she left the green room. I don't know why. Then Miss Mono came in, then Trinity came in, then Miss Tiara came back. So Miss Tiara, you're the guest of honor, actually, because I don't know you, and I at least know these other 2 women. And so we're gonna let you go. Oh, no, sorry. Me and Miss Tiara talked in the back end. She didn't want to go first. So we're gonna go ahead and let Miss Mono go first. Miss Mono, you have the floor. Here's what we're looking for. This could be a long show, ladies. Just gonna pre-warn y'all now, because I'm not going to be interrupting y'all. I'm gonna let y'all talk and give out as much context as you ladies want to provide. I try to keep my shows within 2 hours, so I typically try to end by 10 p.m. But I'm not gonna put a clock on you ladies, because I think this is important information that gentlemen can reference at a later point. So feel free, no pressure to speed up. Take as much time as you need. And ladies, if y'all can be patient, because I don't want you, if you're talking 3rd, you have to wait a while. Y'all can also ask questions while the person is articulating themselves. Just try to find a dead spot. And maybe I'll put my finger up if I have a question or 2, just to gain better clarity. It's not that I'm disagreeing with anything you ladies saying. It's not that I'm trying to challenge anything you ladies are saying. I am a man. You ladies are women. If I don't understand, it's probably some gentlemen who don't understand. Although I don't speak for all men, I should, but because I don't, I have to ask you ladies to just appreciate the interjection to ask the question here or there just to gain some clarity. Okay. So, what we're looking for is something that Miss Mono should be very well versed at. Her podcast is called Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. So, it fits what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about from hello.
I can't hear. Dang it.
We can hear you. Let me see what's wrong. She can't leave and come back. There we go. She left. Maybe she'll come back. So the title today is From Hello to I Do. I would like you ladies to articulate as best as you possibly can what that process looks like. Hold back no details, because I want you to talk from the male and the not from the male and female's perspective. I want you to talk from the female perspective of how you think the man should behave, as well as how the female should behave. Who's leading, who's following, who's the first person to approach. Be as fluid, be as transparent, be as detailed as you possibly can be. And if it goes a little too long, we'll probably try to speed you up just a little bit, only because of the sake of other people. But I don't want to interrupt you ladies at all. Do y'all have any questions on what we're looking for tonight?
No.
All right. So I think this will help y'all. I think this will. I don't want to help y'all. I don't want to help. Because I don't want to interfere.
Okay.
Because I'll let my questions come afterwards. I don't want to interfere. I want this to be organic. So I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on mute, and I'm gonna try to pay a little bit of attention to the comment sections, ladies and gentlemen. I don't focus on comment sections when I have people on the panel, but I think the ladies are more so talking to men in general. They're not just talking directly to me. I'm just the only man here. But if there's other ladies in the audience and you ladies want to come up, it is an open panel. I'll take up to 5 women at a time, so we have at least 2 more slots. I don't want it to be too crazy, because if it's 8 people up here and everybody's talking forever, y'all never get a chance to talk. So anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna shut my mouth. Miss Mono, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. I do want to say that, like, I think my experience on this is going to be a little different from everyone else's. My husband and I have known each other since 1992, when I came to Atlanta at 11 years old. Okay. We grew up in the same church. We parted ways once we graduated, and then we reunited in our 30s, like in our early 30s. So at that point, we only dated for 6 months. And I mean, it was pretty early on when he was very sure about the fact that, yes, I want to marry you. I wanted to get married too. I would not suggest a 6-month courtship for people, under normal circumstances. Like, I wouldn't suggest maybe like a 20-year-old go that route. But when you're talking about your 30s and your 40s and you're a bit older, you're a bit mature, then, you know what I mean? I feel like that's a little bit more understandable. And that's a decision that you can make a little more safely in that age period. For regular dating, I definitely do not agree with women approaching men. I've never been that type of woman. I feel like it sets a horrible tone for the relationship. And it would just always leave me guessing, like, does he really like me, or is he just going along with this because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings? Because I've heard a lot of men say that, like, oh, I don't really like her. I just didn't want to hurt her feelings. She cried, she this, she that, she's crazy, she won't leave me alone. I never wanted to be that one. So if you want me, then you come get me. That has always been my approach. But even with that, I feel like it's up to the man to carry the relationship. One thing I tell my daughters all the time, like, a relationship won't work if a man's not a little bit more into you than you are into him. So I've always felt like it was the man's responsibility to carry the relationship, to determine how the relationship goes. He's the one that would have to take on the responsibility of you as his woman, as his wife, whatever the case may be. So it's, how can a woman tell this man, you're going to love me and you're going to take care of me? You can't. He has to decide to love you. He has to decide that he wants to take care of you. So it's always, to me, it's always the man's lead in the relationship. Now, I don't believe in a lot of verbal showing of emotion, if you will. Like, I'm definitely an actions person, and so I don't necessarily subscribe to past a certain age, like definitely past like 25. I don't do the whole girlfriend boyfriend thing. It's more like, when you're ready to marry me, then we can, then we'll go on, then we'll move forward. I think a lot of women make that mistake of just focusing in on one man when he's not focusing in on her. That's how you end up with a lot of heartache, liking a man that don't like you. And so if a man is interested and he wants the relationship to progress, I believe that's on him. He'll do the work. He'll make the time. He'll make those dates. He'll take up your schedule, because that's what my husband did with me. I never had to wonder what I was doing on any given night, any given weekend, any activity. It was never a question. He was always there. We always already had plans. So even if it was somebody else trying to come around, I wanted to be with him and he wanted to be with me. And so things just organically progressed. I think women mess up when we try to be the strong one in the relationship, and make a man do things that he doesn't want to do. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of men will just go along with it. I don't want to hurt her feelings, and maybe that he didn't find the one that he really likes yet. So you're a good time keeper and your standards aren't too high. You aren't asking for too much. So, we'll just keep you around to hold the place. That's how you end up, pregnant and just, a living hell. So yeah, to wrap it up, I feel like if we're going to go from hello to I do, that's definitely the man's decision to decide if he wants to take you in that direction. And then it would be up to the woman to decide if she wants to do that with him.
Well, since you ended a little sooner than I thought you would.
I didn't want to keep on going.
No, I'm perfectly fine with it. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
And no, I'm gonna wait, because if I ask you the questions, the other ladies will see the questions.
Okay. Okay.
So we have Miss Trinity or Miss Tiara. Which one of you ladies would like to go next?
I guess it's up to me, huh?
I guess so.
All right, so
from hello
I know
to I do. Actually, yeah, Ray, we got to push the envelope a little bit, because you didn't really.
What you mean?
I hate that. See, I don't like hosting, ladies. I'm a terrible host. Okay. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, and I'm trying to listen, right? And I'm distracted, and people are DMing because people want to know the show and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, so I miss parts of it, but it's kind of unfair, because I know your story already, right? And so when I know your story, it's like I'm listening, but it's like I already know what you're talking about. So it's like I'm not. It's locked in. My apologies for that, but it's like I want to hear you ladies really delve into what that, and I think you did give a lot of nuggets, but I want you ladies to delve into what the man should be doing and what the woman should also be doing. I heard you talk what the man should be doing and how you two did. I didn't hear a lot about what you as a woman should have been doing. And it's not for me to critique you. I'm not critiquing it. I'm just asking or giving little small pushback just to make sure we get a full picture of your perspective of how women should participate. I did get one thing that I want to point out. You opened up with the whole women shouldn't be doing the whole 6-month courtship until they're in their 30s or 40s, because I guess they're more mature to handle a 6-month courtship at that point. I think we can unpack a whole broadcast on just what you said with that. So,
well, let me just say this. Hold on. Let me say that anything that I say is in general, only because I understand nuances in life. Everybody's going to have an exception. So anything I say would have to be in general and just from my life observations and my personal experience.
I think your state, I don't have any problems with anything you said, by the way. I don't think you said anything wrong. I actually agree with what you said. And I think we all should speak in general. I think when we speak too anecdotal, I think things get lost because people will be like, well, what? That don't sound right. And it's just like, it ain't about it sounding right for you specifically.
Right.
It's about it sounding right for the masses. Can the masses adopt? Oh, that's one other thing I want to put on you ladies. I was going to wait to the end, but I might as well tell you now. How I'm listening to you ladies, I'm listening to you to say to myself, if the masses were to adopt this perspective, would it yield good results for people overall? Or must it be so niche that you have to be a special snowflake for what you ladies saying to apply? And I think the masses need to be impacted more so than the personal individuals who may resonate with it versus a few who may not. Anywho, Miss Trinity, you have the floor. And Ray, I'll post my questions after y'all speak, and then we can go through my questions. And then even if y'all have answered it, we can kind of do a roundtable real quick and just everybody give their answer to the question. I think that'll be fruitful for the audience. All right, Miss Trinity, you have the floor. Go ahead.
I love StreamYard. I don't have to practice what I say on mute before I realize that I'm on mute. Then have to start all over again. Because I sure as hell was just talking just now. It should begin before the hello. I think when you begin before the hello, you can get to the I do. The way that I did it with my own was that first I developed a relationship with God. Because before then, I couldn't trust myself. Because I didn't pick properly. I didn't choose properly. I lacked discernment. So before I even said hello, I decided that maybe I should say hello to God. Develop that relationship with God to where I am his daughter and he is my dad. And he is a dad that knows all things about everything. And if I can rely on this entity, this being, this all-loving wellness, then the next man that comes into my presence should be my husband. And until then, I need to prepare for him. No different than King Lemuel's mother in Proverbs 31 prepared him for her. She directed him, right? Telling him how to lead his kingdom. So my thing is, if this man is being taught by a queen, then I should be that one that she's going to approve of. And there were 25 characteristic traits that a woman must embody before King Lemuel approaches and even appears. The next thing I realized was that marriage is not anything contractual, but it's a covenant. It's sanctimonious. It's sacred. It's not something that you enter into lightly. As a woman, your husband is your assignment, you see. Because I, as his wife, I am here in service. But my husband is walking in servitude. So he has an obligation to be responsible for my survival, while I have an obligation to be responsible for his well-beingness. So marriage began for me first in my heart. It's a union. It's a polyamorous relationship, me, him, and God. And God governed me. So I needed a man that would be governed under God. So that's where our yoke would be. A lot of times we get into these relationships believing that things and people should be different, but God presents to you your kind if you allow God to bring to you your your mate. I don't want to use the word spouse. Go ahead.
So I'm not going to interrupt y'all much, but I would like to, when you say something pivotal that I think needs a little bit more context, I'm just going to interject a little bit. So this perspective that you have, how old were you when you developed that perspective? And do you think it is, we live in a society that can foster that perspective in young women? So I guess my question is going to be multi-layered. When did you develop that perspective? Do you think that the young girls even have a space for that perspective to be digested, where they can then embody what you're saying? And because I'm just thinking about today's times, we have churches still exist, but it seems like what you just said, I don't hear too many people talk like that. So I'm trying to figure out, did you develop that when you were young, or did you develop that when you became more seasoned? Because um I don't know if you had that thought process when you was like 2021, but go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is about my age. I was about 30, 30, 39.
When you
So,
develop that perspective?
hmm and I'm
Oh,
50, and I'm 50 today. So
okay.
it wasn't that long ago, right?
Okay.
The second question you asked was, can what I use be useful for someone who is younger in terms of capacity? In fact, it works best with them because they have less resistance.
Well, I don't mean for like capacity. I mean like digestible with our society the way it is, because
Yeah.
what you said goes completely against the norm, which is what we want to hear. I want to hear you ladies give your authentic perspectives, and I know it doesn't jive with the norm in society. So, do where do you think the space of that to be cultivated? Because if their parents don't have that and they're not teaching that, um, where does a girl get that perspective? It took you to 39 to get it. So where does a girl, and I'm saying girl, I'm talking about young ladies between the ages of 16 to 21. Where do they get that if their parents aren't instilling that in them?
Scripture.
You guys can chime
That
in, and once we finish with the time in, we're gonna give you the floor right back, Trinity, so you can pick up where you left off. And sorry for the interruptions, but I
not
think it's
cool.
good to unpack that.
I'm sorry. No, I think that's a great question. And I can honestly attribute the fact that my mama had me in church from as long as I can remember. So that's something I grew up with. It was instilled in me. But to hear that you weren't able to come to that until 39 is so heartbreaking. And because of the lack of Bible-based spirituality on the internet or on social media, I think that's a great question. Will, like, how will these young girls get it? Because all they're being showed is baddie this and bae that, and everybody got it's all about a bag. It's all about everything but God. So yeah, that is a great point.
I'd like to answer the question.
Okay.
Okay, so I was not raised and brought up with any sort of guidance whatsoever. So a lot of what I know now came from just experience. I also had to learn later in life what people that are, brought up with the proper examples learn early on. And I would say, as far as people who don't have that example, how they can come to that same perspective or understanding, I would say developing a relationship with the Most High is how you can get there. If you don't have the proper example, if you don't have anyone to look at and say, "Oh, okay, this is how I approach dating," or this is how I should be approached in relation to dating. developing a relationship with the Most High and allowing Him to lead you and guide you in all aspects of your life, but especially with something as important as who you're going to share your life with, I feel like is how, you can get that if you didn't have the example.
I feel like that's dangerous. I'm sorry.
I was
dangerous. And the only
well,
reason
hold on. Let's, because I think y'all are saying some stuff that we can just unpack for hours, especially critical thinking people. I don't want to dive into it too much because then it will derail us from hearing the full perspective from you ladies. But I think, Ray, I'm with you. I think it's dangerous in the wrong hands. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I mean, with the wrong perspective. So I definitely think it's great, and I think it's risky. It's so much to unpack, and I'm gonna try not to be interjecting and keep unpacking because we'll be unpacking until tomorrow. But Trinity, you left off with but we could pin that, right? And once we get through everything, we can come back and revisit it. So what was that you said? Yeah, so I can write it down. So I can have you said develop a relationship with the Most High, and then what else?
Basically, I was saying develop a relationship with the Most High and allow Him to sharpen your discernment when it comes to dating and how you should be approached, how you should conduct yourself. When it's my turn, I'll go more into depth about what I mean by that.
Okay. That's fine. That's great. I appreciate it. And then we can still address it towards the end, Ray, if you have some questions, thoughts, pushback, whatever. Trinity, you left off with dang, I just lost my train of thought. Sure, I was sitting here ready to tell you exactly where you left off. Oh, you was talking about how you at 39 you gained this new basically epiphany, this new understanding, and I was asking you, do girls 16 and 21, are they able to cultivate that in today's society if their parents aren't instilling that in them? So if you could pick up from there.
Yeah, they can cultivate it if they find themselves in the spaces that is producing that type of discussion. Outside of that, you can't know what you don't know, you don't know, right? But like, for instance, when my daughter was 17, no, she was 16, and I was listening to Kevin Samuels at that time, and this is after I got the guy. So now I'm like, all right, let's see how my parenthood skills went. And I asked her, I said, when you think about your family picture, if I was to look at it in my hand, what would it look like? What would I see? And she thought about it. Then she said, me and my kids. And I'm just waiting because I'm thinking she's going to, follow up, and she never did. And I was like, wow, I failed you. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, you took the whole man out. There is no family without a man. You have to understand that. There is no family without a man. You need a man to complete your family. Let me ask you this now. Do you want to get married? She said, yeah. I was like, okay, I didn't fail you that bad because I thought you were going to, vow to be a baby mama. And I'm like, oh, damn. I'm going to have to shake her a little bit. Throw some holy water with some olive oil and douse her in a bathtub or something. So I said, okay, so do you want to have to work after you have your first child? And she said, no. I said, so you would rather not have to pay any household expenses, like the big major ones? She was like, no. I said, okay, don't go to college. I don't care what nobody in the family tells you. Do not go to college. I said, you go to school to pick up a skill that is transferable, something that will sustain you as an adult, but that you can use as a wife. Second thing, you want to be a stay-at-home mom? You want to be a stay-at-home wife? Well, your empty womb, that is your greatest asset. And the fact that you are not bitter, that you are not tainted, that you are not toxic, you can ask and receive everything you want. But you have to remain pure in spirit, not just in your body. Don't ever look at a man in a way that it makes your thoughts about men negative. You keep in mind that your daddy raised you when your mama broke down. You see, you remember that your mama called your daddy at 8 o'clock at night on that Monday night, and he sent for you 1 o'clock a.m. Tuesday morning, and he raised you until the day he died. You see, you appreciate a man because your father was a good man, your granddaddy was a good man, your uncle is a good man. You are surrounded by nothing but good men. So your story is different from their story. You write her story. Don't live in his story because you'll get what they got and you ain't going to like it. Develop skills, develop social skills, develop relationship skills, develop interpersonal skills, develop communication skills. You have to prepare for your husband right here, right now, and it starts in consciousness, and it will develop in the mindset, and it will grow in spirit. You think about your husband today. Carry him in your heart right here and right now. And every decision you make, you will make as a wife. Because a wife has nothing to do with the contract, the paper, the same ink that brings you together is the same paper and same ink that says you are apart. It's not the government, it's not the ceremony, it's not the wedding, it's the union, it's the covenant. You have to love God so much. You try everything in your power never to disappoint. You asked, he blessed you. You sustain it while your husband maintains it. You love upon your man like it's God crystallized.
So I don't want to interrupt you. You turning this into a sermon. You preaching. But I want to understand what those actions. Oh, no, I can't. I can't. I want to ask y'all so many questions, right? I think it's beneficial to sometimes just sit back and listen. So I'm doing my best to hold my tongue and not ask any questions. So I'm going to retract what I was about to ask. But I do want to transition you into the because I think right now you're building all on mindset, and I think you're building foundational perspectives, structure, which I think is dope. So if you got more to add to that, go ahead and add it to it. But I want to also hear about the hello, right? So a guy or a girl, but Ray said women shouldn't be approaching because it sets a bad precedence for the relationship. You don't have to be of that mindset, but if you are of that mindset, go ahead and share it with us. I want to hear about the hello and how do we get to the I do.
Every time you say hello, I hear Richard. What is old boy Lionel Richie? Hello, is it me you're looking for? It's like I want to say, shut up.
Oh, I guess we should take this moment right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what this do, but hit the like button if you can. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Turn that notification bell on. Share this with 3 people that you know, preferably people who disagree with my perspectives. As y'all will hear me share some of my perspectives after these ladies all have their turn, because I want to hear from the ladies. I am going to share a little bit of my perspective. And then there'll be an open panel for some of the gentlemen to come up if we're still live. I don't know if we will be, but if we are, we're going to let these ladies finish up what they're doing, and we're going to have an intermission, and we're going to play King Things again because I want y'all to hear verse number 3. And then please turn the notification bell on, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this with 3 people, and spam the chat room. You know, I want to hear what y'all got to say, and I'm gonna read some of the comments in the second and post them on the screen if y'all have any questions. But Miss Trinity, go ahead. Hello to I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So first and foremost, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you answered my question. You more than answered my question. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I forgot. What was the second? Oh, you want me to continue?
Hello to
Oh,
I do. Yes.
you said to the I do. From the hello to the I do. Okay, so in between, there's a gap between the hello and the I do that people don't really consider, and that's done in when you're single. When you are single, you can recreate yourself into a whole different character because your new guy has never met the old you yet. You see, a lot of women have this idea that if I unbecome myself, then I'm no longer me. Baby, you can never unbecome yourself and not be you. You just have to decide to experience the grander, the greater, the higher version, the best version of you. And then when you are developing yourself into that grander, better, greater version, you're doing it not to outdo your man, but because you know your man is worth it. You see, you should have already written every adjective on paper of what your man should look like in form. That's what I did. I said, all right, I want a husband. And I need to know what he looked like. Like, how can I know what he looked like if I don't know what he looks like? So I had to imagine him. So I got in my trusty paper and pen. And the first word I thought of was noble. I was like, that was a good one, God. Because, see, I didn't do it without God. I didn't just take it upon myself because I am a master at making bad decisions. Let me tell you, you want to know how to make a bad decision? Your girl got you. I'm like Jonah. I always went my own way. And like the prodigal son, I come back. You know what I mean? But with gas these days and the prices of Uber, I figured I just might as well just be obedient, you know? So I wrote down noble, trustworthy, generous, considerate, leader, thoughtful, steadfast, disciplined, he ambitious, inspiring. I mean, and it just kept going. I had to stop. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
I gotta stop you. I'm sorry. I've talked to thousands of women on social media up until this point now when I first started my podcast a long time ago when I had my first podcast. And yeah, I don't hear women use these words when describing the kind of man that they're looking for. I hear them use more superficial things, but I think it's just interesting that you have words that most women don't say. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was looking for my King Lemuel. You see, the thing about the Proverbs 31 chapter is that the women usually start at 4 or 6, where it talks about the woman and he, you know what I mean? But Proverbs is helping the woman to get that man, that King Lemuel. So I had to develop myself into the woman that his mother has advised him to look out for. And she comes with 25 character traits that must be developed. Go ahead.
So who do you think approaches? I mean, who do you think starts the hello?
I did by putting myself in position. Like how Ruth put herself into position.
Now,
First,
don't be stealing none of my talking points, Trinity. Don't be in my head. Don't be knowing what I'm going to talk about later. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm regurgitating your words. Now, woman, tread lightly. Tread.
Well, you know what? You need to speak faster. So, but yeah, Naomi. See, the beginning of Ruth and Boaz started with Naomi when Naomi guided her. Naomi told her, "You go and wash your hair, take a shower, go bathe, put on your best, attire, and put on your, best smelling fragrance. And then when you go to the festivities, you stand and then you wait into this little room right here and you watch him. You don't interact with him. You don't talk to him. You just sit there at the side. And then you allow him to conduct his business. And only when he has gone to the room, after everything is done, Do you go and take off your clothes and lay at the foot of his bed? That is absolute submission. That says, I am patient, right? I am willing. I am here. What will you have me do?
You might want to clarify, take off your clothes.
Because when you are naked, I will clarify it. That's great, right? Because it's like Adam and Eve. Who told you you're naked, right? When you, as Ruth, come in as naked, you're saying, I'm bearing my whole self to you. I have nothing to hide. I'm not holding back anything from you. I am here in full submission, full cooperation, and full service to the man who is going to be responsible for my survival, to the man who has vowed to cease to exist so I can continue to live, so I can possibly love another man.
I hear you, and I think you're on a meat phase right now, which is fine. But I do want to question you in a way of transitioning, because I think that at least in the story with Ruth had privileged information about Boaz. And with that privileged information, Ruth had guidance. She was being told what to do, and she was being directed, do this, do that, do this, do that. And she was obedient. If we think about that in modern times, are women being guided by a parental figure? Are they being guided by someone whose livelihood is also attached to the woman's outcome if she can succeed? Because Naomi's outcome, her livelihood was attached to Naomi, Ruth's ability to do and perform,
right, to provide.
So Naomi, although she did it out of love, she had a vested interest in the success and the outcome of the instruction that she was giving Ruth. I don't think girls in modern times have that headship. I don't think the person who is guiding them is as invested in the outcome. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit when Miss Tiara finishes her points. And I would like for you, though, not to put a clock on you at all, because I just want to hear it. I hear your structure. Your structure is intact. You've given me enough meat that I can take that back to the ant hill, and I can tell all the other little ants. I'm like, well, this is what the ladies are saying. So no, shut up. Put your hand down. This is what they're saying. Structurally. Now, practically, practice. How does that look?
How does that translate from out the Bible into the real world?
Yes.
Okay.
What do he and what do she do? Because hello has to happen. All the training you have, all the perspective you have, all the belief you have, all the desire you have, it has to turn into some type of tangible action. So I want to hear hello and leading to
well, the hello. So my thing is like
1 second, Trini.
Hello.
Ahead, the hello. 1 second, Trini.
1 second. Just 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to interject just for the general audience. Naomi didn't tell Ruth to take off her clothes. She did tell him to observe Boaz, wait till he went to rest, and then lay at his feet, and then tell him to cover her with his garment. Ruth
it must have been my perverted self. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to have
wanted to clarify that for the audience.
I don't know where I got the naked from.
I told her.
My thing, my bad.
Right, I told her. I said you might want to address this whole naked thing, but I was going to keep all up at the end. So it's okay. But
well, thanks for the clarification. She was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody was like, "Wait a minute now, what the Bible talk about?" That's not no
Bible. That's some freaking.
But I got you. All right, so this is what it looks like, ladies. Right?
Well, listen,
your parent is God, and the direction is called intuition. But oftentimes what happens is that you use insecurity in the form of intuition. But insecurity and intuition are two different things, because your intuition would never put you in a position for you to be insecure. That intuition is that initial response, that initial tug, that initial voice that says, no, stop, don't. But you're so accustomed to having a whole paragraph and the whole backstory and a little glimpse of forward that you miss out on God telling you yes and no. Because when God speaks,
that's all your structure. That's all your structure. All that is all great. We want that actionable steps now.
Like, yeah, I'm telling you. Hold on.
Oh, you did.
I thought you said you let the woman speak, and you won't.
No, I am.
I
I'm telling you what to say. I just want to make sure you give us that next step, next phase.
You just can't help yourself, can you? It's
look,
I got you.
If y'all see these questions,
here's the thing, right?
I can't wait till these questions get asked. Go ahead, Trinity.
So because there has to be a root. There has to be a root line of communication. Ruth and Naomi had a direct line of communication. They were face to face, right? That direct line of communication is that line that we call intuition. That's often ignored, okay? So when that intuition kicks in, guess what you're going to start doing? You are going to start being obedient and going where God sends you. You understand? And then what's going to tend to happen is that you are going to you're going to find someone in front of you that you are going to be attracted to. You're going to be like, dang, look at that smile, or look at those lips, or look at the stature, or listen to that voice. It's going to be something that's an issue that's going to say, ooh, you have my attention. You see? And then now that person has your attention. Now it's time for the woman to put herself in position to be seen. But it doesn't mean she has to be like, hey, boo, can I have your number? No, it's seen, not her type thing, right? And then smile. You have to, your personality is experienced very early on. That first impression, your personality is a part of that. Because if you have a pleasant personality, that first impression, she's going to smile. Right? If it's a personality, that first impression, she's going to be like, oh. So pleasantry, you got to be pleasant. It says, okay, I might like to be around you often. And then you have to be able to articulate yourself as a lady. As a man, just listen. Listen to what she say, because if you let a chick talk long enough, she's going to tell you all the things that she's going to do to you that you ain't going to like. But your behind is just so busy, focused on the booty and the boobs and everything else that you can imagine. You completely miss the fact that she says, because I have my guy friends who be hooking me up, and, when I, whatever. You got to be quiet. Men want women to be quiet while they talk. And this is why they don't know anything about women. You talk too damn much. Take your own advice. Stop talking and listen. Listen to understand. Listen to understand. And when you are listening, you don't listen from rational. You listen from the emotional. Because this is from where we process the world. We have to feel safe to submit. You have to think safe so you can lead. Too many men want to tell women what to do, but don't even know who they're working with. How can you lead a woman when you haven't developed on her strength, when you haven't recognized her weakness? So men don't have it all together. I give it to you. Well, I agree with you on that. Today's men don't have no idea what to do with a traditional woman. Not even a little bit. They just have talking points about traditional women. And modern day women, you don't want a God-fearing man because you want to go your own way. You want to do your own damn thing. So at hello, it has to be someone that you can bear to look at. At first date, it has to be somebody that you can bear to speak to for a long period of time. At the second date, it has to be with somebody that you wouldn't mind being sexually intimate with. And on the third date, be prepared to give it up because you had the second date to back out and you already had 2 free meals. Let's not go there. Don't be greedy. You know,
Well, I think you fast tracked this, Trinity, because once they do the do, biblically speaking,
you're married.
Ray said 6 months. You said 3 dates. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna accept that as fast tracking, even though I know that's not exactly what you mean. But I want to hear Miss Tiara because only because of the sake of time, I do like to still end around 10. I want to cover my talking points and I want to allow any other women that may want to cam up or any of the audience members that may want to cam up or questions that the audience members may have if they've been taking notes about the things that you ladies have been saying. So, Miss Tiara, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Well, I appreciate your patience. Oh, we got another welcome to the party. Miss Tiara, you have the floor, and we want to welcome Miss Tiara. You'll be able to speak after Miss Tiara goes. So, welcome to the broadcast, and Miss Tiara, go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, so I agree with what Miss Mono said about um not necessarily courting in your, I'll say early 20s, just from my own personal experience. In your early 20s, you're still learning yourself. You're still learning a lot about the world, especially if you didn't have necessarily the proper examples from your parents or whoever raised you. So I
Miss
think
Tiara,
it's very,
I'm sorry to interrupt. She said a 6 month courtship. I want to be
oh,
specific.
okay.
She didn't say don't court in your 20s. She said she don't recommend you having a 6 month courtship until you are older and more mature. So I just want to make sure. Is that right, Miss Mono? You said a 6 month courtship, right?
Yeah, I was saying I wouldn't recommend a 6 month courtship for someone in their 20s.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because she just mentioned courtship in 20s. I want to make sure we
Yeah, but
don't miss.
I don't necessarily disagree with what she's saying either.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we got your
Yeah.
word right. We didn't misquote you.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Miss Tiara, you got the floor back. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll say dating or courtship in your early 20s. I feel like that, you should take that time to really get to know yourself so that you can really be clear on who you are, what your values are, and so you can have the proper assessment when you do venture into dating and courtship. So as far as what I think the process should look like, I think it's imperative for us to lead with like choosing our romantic interests by the spirit and not by the flesh. I think that is very important. A lot of times we can get caught up in, maybe looks or status or what we feel like a person can do for us or how they make us feel. And a lot of times we can completely skip over what I'll consider vetting a person by the spirit. So I think that should be like the initial point of what you're looking for when you are even determining whether or not you would pursue dating someone. Um, so after that, I would say um, in the dating process, I think it's very important to be intentional with your conversations and really getting to know the person on a deeper level beyond just, the surface of, oh, we have the same interests, we like to do the same things, we have fun together, that kind of thing. I think you should be really intentional with your conversations to really get to know who that person is, what their values are, what their mentality is, whether or not there is spiritual alignment. Um, I also think during that time, it's important to pay attention to who that person is in that moment. As you're spending time with them, as you're having conversations, getting to know them, you should be paying attention to their presence in that moment. A lot of times, I know for me, myself, I used to get caught up in the potential I saw in a person and completely overlooking who they are right then and there, how they're showing up in their day to day life right then and there, straight out the gate. Um, Next, I would say during the courting process, um, I think during that time, it's important to really pay attention to whether or not you and that person are equally yoked. It's all fine and dandy. Everybody, wants to have someone, wants to share their life with someone, wants to get the ring, the house, or whatever. But if you and that person are not equally yoked, then your marriage or relationship is not going to prosper and thrive the way the Most High would want it to. It's not going to be fruitful. Um, um, I think that's pretty much it.
All right. All right. Miss T, thank you, Miss Tiara. I don't have any questions for you. I kind of do. Well, I do have one. I do have one. I want to make sure I get this while it's fresh on your mind. When you said don't get caught up in looks, to vet by the spirit, what
Mhm.
exactly do you mean?
Okay, so what I mean by that is a person like I'll just use a real life example, right? So I worked at the Target warehouse about a year or so ago, right? And there were several brothers that, expressed interest. And just being honest, if I had been going by looks or status or, what position I feel like I'd be in if I were to pursue dating that person or getting involved with that person, I would have really been doing myself a disservice. So, what I mean by discerning by the spirit or choosing by the spirit instead of the flesh, I don't mean, um, you know, that you can't pick someone that you're attracted to. But what I mean is that attraction or the chemistry shouldn't be the end all be all of why you're pursuing a romantic interest in that person. You should be looking for the spirit of that person and whether or not the spirit of that person it draws you in naturally. I hope that answers your question.
It answers it, but I need a little bit more context. But I'm gonna put a pin in mine. Go ahead, Ray.
I just wanted to add this. Just because Tier's answers are like very spiritually based, and yes, that's very important. But I feel like we need to deal with relationships in like practical terms. And one of the reasons I'm saying it is because recently, very recently, um, I know of a sister who had her life taken. Unfortunately, she was in a situation where she was being spiritually manipulated and abused. And so, for that reason, it has made me change the way I talk about your relationship with God as a woman and then choosing a husband. I really feel like we need more men helping us pick men. As a woman, you have no idea what to look for. And yes, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, but he also calls us to be wise. He calls us to go to the elders. He calls us to find teachers among us. A lot of us, me, I can speak for myself. I didn't grow up with a father in my home. And my mom didn't get remarried until I was in my 20s. So the only example I had was seeing my pastor at church every Sunday. And I know that's a lot more than some people do have, but that was the only example I had. But at least I had that and understanding that a man is not supposed to abuse me, he's not supposed to put his hands on me. Like I understood certain things. So yes, absolutely. You as a woman having a relationship with God is the cornerstone of any other relationship. But when it comes to picking a man, I feel like we need more natural, practical teaching for women in that area.
I appreciate that input. Hold on a second, 1 second, ladies. Because I'm about to transition to Tiara, and it was Tiara, right? Not Tiara. It's two. We got to make sure we don't mix up their names. Tiara is who you was responding to. Hey, Mom, I'm gonna bring you up in a second. I'm gonna remove you from the green room. You can stay there, but I don't think you can engage with the comment section from the green room. So let me get through the ladies, Mom, and then I'll bring you up, and then you can be up here when I'm going through my little dialogue and a monologue, and then you can ask questions or whatever, make your interjections or comments once all the ladies are done. So I'm gonna remove you from the green room, or you can remove yourself. You can stay there if you want to, but when the ladies are done, then I'll bring you up. So Miss Tiara,
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Okay, so I want to
Wait,
start
before
by
you go,
saying,
before you
um,
go,
oh
wait,
yeah,
before you go, I just met this young lady about 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that, 2 weeks
yeah.
ago. Um, we met on someone else's live, and she saw me there, and then she came in, and we had a conversation, and it went long, and we talked about, unpacked a lot of good stuff, had a lot of back and forth. At the end of the live, y'all, she had the audacity to not fully agree with me. Now, y'all know I don't play with that. Not fully agreeing with me. Listen, despite what you've been taught, in spite of what you've been taught, you take heed to what I say, ladies. I'm Mr. Moore Writer. I'm always right. Any and everything I say is right. Chew on that for a moment. Now, Miss Tierra, I appreciate you being here. We're going to turn the floor over to you. Before you start, go ahead and just introduce yourself a little bit. You don't got to tell us nothing super personal if you don't want to, but tell us what you want us to know. And if you got a podcast or something, please shout it out and let people know where they can find you. And then you go ahead and tell us what you think. And just in case you wasn't here from the beginning, we're talking about from hello to I do. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your perspective is from them, what a man should be doing, what a woman should be doing, go ahead and share it with us.
Okay, so to start off, my name is Tiara. I am 28, so I am a lot younger. Still trying to find my way. I have two kids and I'm not married. So being the fact that I'm not married, I will not answer the question as far as hello to I do because I haven't figured it out yet either. So I am here mainly to kind of hear like advice from you guys. And I feel like a lot of you have said a lot of amazing things, and I agree with a lot of things everyone has said. I just wanted to jump up here real quick because I think a lot of the disconnect is, especially for somebody who's still trying to figure it out, is everything that you guys have said. It logically makes so much sense, and it was just such great information. It's just, I feel like there's a big gap that doesn't really get taught. So kind of, I think Miss Mono, I think you kind of touched on it, and I don't want to take words if isn't what you're saying. I might be incorrect, but kind of just saying like um it's hard to apply it to real life if you haven't, like, if you're not that deep in it. So like coming from somebody who might be, let's say, like not spiritual, or somebody who might be a newer Christian, a lot of the problem that I have is I've grown up in church my whole life. However, just recently, I have fully like recommitted my life to Christ and actually started like understanding for myself. So not just the things that I was taught in church or Sunday school, or, the basic things that mom and dad teach you. It's more like finding it for myself fully at my age, not just reading the Bible, but understanding what it says. So just because I read things prior to having my kids doesn't mean I fully understood it in a spiritual way. And I think that's a lot of the disconnect is oftentimes the generation prior to me, and I'm just going to use my experiences, the generation prior to me didn't really understand that, they use the term come as you are. However, when I come as I am, they're still talking to me like I'm a seasoned Christian. You have to understand that some of us are baby Christians still, and you have to spoon feed us, you have to change us, you have to clothe us, you have to do all these things. So even when it comes to relationships, a lot of the things I didn't understand, and I didn't even understand like the extremities of them, because it wasn't taught to the depth of what I needed to understand. I didn't really understand, like, having my kids, how it was really going to affect me spiritually, because that wasn't taught, or what to look for in a spiritual man, if that's what I'm looking for. Because let's just say, this is just kind of an example, is say you do have a father in your home, but this father is providing, he is not in the household. So you may be seeing what a man that provides looks like, but you might not necessarily always see the interaction between your mom and your dad. So you don't know what their personal relationship looks like, because you don't see that. So yes, you're seeing a providing father, a providing husband, but when it comes to finding someone on your own and how they're supposed to treat you on now a partnership level instead of a father level, it's a lot different. So I think you guys were saying such amazing things, and I really appreciate it, being, especially being the age that I am, and hopefully, still on track to find someone and marry someone, and, switch my life around, that I can apply these things. It's just, I think we have to be more mindful that not everybody comes complete, and we need to, if we want to change the narrative and we want to change this generation that we live in, then we need to start teaching
on a base level and understand that people aren't already there. People don't know what they're like, kind of like, I think it was Miss Trinity said, like, you don't know what you don't know. So you can't know what you're supposed to look for in a husband if you've never been shown the deeper level of it. I hope that makes sense.
Let me ask. Oh, go ahead, Trinity. Then I'll ask.
The husband I sought was a replica of my father. My father is God. Because my father is God, I want a man that would reflect my dad. You see? So I had a blueprint. He had to be patient. He had to be resilient. He had to be caring, considerate, thoughtful. You know, he had to love me while I'm making mistakes before I get better. I needed a man who would not get angry with me because I didn't get it right. So whatever blueprint you create in your mind is what is going to crystallize in your manifested reality. If you are constantly thinking about the worst case scenario with regards to relationships, the universe is so willing to give you what you want. It's going to bring to you people, places, events, and circumstances that will allow you to continue to receive the very thing you are speaking about, even if it's something you don't want. Your blueprint, if you are spiritual and you are biblically sound, then your husband should reflect Christ, because your husband is supposed to submit to you the way that Christ submitted to the church. You see? So if you know what God looked like, it should be easy to recognize your husband. Don't look about men. Don't look to men. Don't care about men. You're not going to marry men. You only need one man. And like God presented Eve to Adam, God will present you to yours. I yield.
So look, ladies. Oh, I'm gonna let you go, Ray. I'm about to let you go. I'm gonna just say this. After Ray go, I'm gonna transition to saying my little piece. My man Monk is in the green room. I'm gonna bring him up. I don't know if he has questions, pushback, but I'm gonna instruct him on what type of pushback he can give, because this is not a beat up on the ladies session tonight. This is listening to gain some understanding so that maybe we can determine if we agree or disagree with what you ladies are saying. So Ms. Ray, go ahead.
I just wanted to respond to Tiara. Right. Look, I understand what you're saying. Okay. I grew up in the church too. And I had children. I've had previous marriages. I had children before I met my now husband. So you know what I'm saying? I sat under the word, but it's like you were saying, you can't emulate something you didn't see. So no, I didn't have a dad at home to show me that great example of what I should be looking for practically. So you're not wrong in that. Once you realize as a woman, like, hey, I've been making some bad decisions and I want to get my life right, you do have to go back and start from the beginning to make sure that you're in right standing, so that when that husband does come along, you're ready to see and understand that. Now, I'm not trying to like punch down on anyone, but I just don't like when we say things like, oh, I was looking for my husband to be like God, because that is unrealistic. God is a perfect spiritual entity. God is not in the flesh here to show us his mistakes, and then we have to deal with his mistakes, and then he has to deal with our mistakes. Just the nuances within a marriage, I feel like, require us to come down to a practical level and teach from a practical level, teach from a natural level, but always using the Bible as our backbone. The Bible is how we conduct our lives. It is the guidelines. It's our instruction manual. But for a woman who is starting over and is looking for the way, we do have to, like she said, start from the beginning and then work in practicality. Like, I don't even like to use the term equally yoked, because what does that mean practically? Does this mean we have to be making the same amount of money? Does this mean that we're both like on the usher board? What does this mean? And so I understand what she's saying when there's a gap, because we just throw around these, like I said, general terms, because we don't have time to have nuanced conversations. Like, if I had time to sit and talk with her and find out every little thing, then yeah, we can get into specifically about you. But unfortunately, we do throw out these general terms, and it does leave people who don't have personal guidance. It leaves them lost and confused. It's like, you're telling me I'm supposed to find a man that looks like Jesus. I don't know how Jesus walked in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus was never married. Where in the Bible does it talk about how Jesus treated his wife and what that is supposed to look like? So, I just for the safety, because like I said, a sister just lost her life, and I've heard multiple stories of women who have lost their lives because they allowed a man to tell them what God said and what the Bible meant instead of knowing for themselves. So yes, we need to bring it down to a natural level. We need to talk practically to our younger sisters, to those who are coming up behind us, and then give them, those examples, again, with the understanding that this is just in general, and this is what happened to me, and this is how me and my husband worked it out. I don't know how that's going to translate to you and yours, but this is my example.
Well, I appreciate that perspective. Ladies, so here's where I stand. Now, I'm not going to push back on any of you ladies tonight. I accept everything you ladies have said today. I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to this broadcast again, because I want to gain perspective. And some of the stuff y'all said I missed, because as I'm trying to conduct it and pay attention to some stuff, hosting and just being on the panel is totally different. So, and as I'm new to this, I missed some things. So I want to go back and hear everybody's perspectives again, and then kind of determine if I agree or disagree. I then hope to do this again with the men and get the men to give their perspectives without me interjecting, just listening to them. And hopefully you ladies will tune into that and you will listen to them as well. And then I will do a third show, God willing, if everything works out, where I try to compile what you ladies have said tonight, what other ladies say as I go live on social platforms over the next couple of weeks, and gather what they're saying, add it to what y'all are saying, listen to the men and gather what the men are saying, and then give y'all my full breakdown of how I think you guys are, where you guys are in agreement and where you guys are in disagreement, and how you guys can just stop fighting on the areas you're in agreement on. Stop trying to make it look your way. You agree, so just do it. And the areas where you don't agree, try to figure out some of these areas where you don't agree. Just when you don't agree, y'all fighting a fight that you don't really truly care about. You just used to doing things this way. Some things you can just give up. But more importantly, I don't believe in compromise. I believe in negotiating. People like to say, oh, you do got to compromise a relationship. I don't believe you should compromise in relationships. I think compromise puts two people at odds where they're losing something. Both people are losing something. That's not a good thing. When you negotiate, both parties are gaining something. So I think you should figure out what it is that you're willing to let your significant other gain, so that you can gain what you're trying to gain, instead of asking your significant other to stop doing something, and in return, you will stop doing something. So you both are just sitting there focusing on what you're losing. And then more often than not, you're probably going to look at what you gave up and think you had to give up more than what they gave up. And then you're going to be bitterness to set in. Anywho, I'll tell y'all all my perspectives at the end. Remember, take everything I say as the truth, because I'm Mr. Moore Writer. I'm always right. And if you think I'm wrong, we have a show on Thursdays. So if you think I'm wrong, come Thursday, set that notification bell and show up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief intermission. Don't nobody leave. Don't nobody go nowhere. So I want y'all to hear this third verse. All right? So we're gonna play this song again. I want y'all to hear the song King Things by my man Monologue McGad featuring Miss Mono, yours truly, who's on the panel with us tonight. I want to play this song again. I just want y'all to listen to the lyrics of the song. It's not for your entertainment purposes. It's for you to listen to the lyrics of the song. And I would like for you to take notes to something that is said that you like or dislike. But when we come back from the end of the song, I'm going to give my little spiel. I'm gonna bring my man Ma on the stage, and he may have some questions for y'all. I'm not gonna ask y'all any questions tonight. I'm accepting what y'all saying. Oh no. I do have a list of questions. They're not questions of pushback, but they're just questions to get a little bit more clarity, because I think some of y'all missed some of the assignment, which is okay. But I think the questions will give me simple. I want simple, rapid fire answers, not long drawn out explanations, because for the sake of time. But we could do a follow-up show if you ladies want to. If y'all think there's something else that we should talk about, we can definitely do that. I'm all ears for that, okay? But if y'all can go ahead and mute up, I'm going to go ahead and play this song. I want y'all to listen to it, and I want y'all to tell me y'all thoughts on it, all right? Yeah, I don't think I can mute my end if I play the music. I think no, I can mute my end. I can't mute my screen.
One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, miss the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had goal. Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bond these hoes. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start, screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 20 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes Benz. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing.
Are y'all telling me y'all didn't hear that song? Somebody told me they didn't hear the song playing. I've been just sitting right here rocking to the song. Are y'all telling me y'all can't hear it?
No, I couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it.
You gotta be kidding me.
The only way I was able to hear it was from my cell phone, and I'm on my iPad.
Oh, that's because y'all on the
yeah, the panel can't hear it, but I heard it on my laptop because I'm watching the chat on my laptop. So everybody watching can hear it.
All right, I'm gonna finish playing it. So Y'all on the panel, y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Let the comments.
Well,
Okay.
damn.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't think they want to sit through the whole song again. I'm gonna play the song again in the outro, and y'all can hear it as we close out. So let me just finish it up. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the interruption.
I thought it was just me. I'm like, am I the only one?
Let me finish it up. It's almost done. But we're at the part I wanted y'all to hear anyway. I didn't care that y'all heard the first two verses, even though they fire. I wanted y'all to hear the third verse by Miss Mine.
All right, well, let me get my other phone. That way I can hear it.
All right, here we go.
Super clean, 3 times for my phone, dirty came up. 4
Oh, now I
times for the
can
man
hear
can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of the most high. He provide and protect, so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. BS help me, shout let the silly go.
One time for the men doing gang things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing gang things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think y'all understand what y'all just heard. And unfortunately, I don't have the ability to just scrub where I want the song to play so I can let y'all hear that verse again. But I'll figure it out for future references. I think you ladies should marinate on that verse. Miss Mono, are you there? Miss Mono.
Yo.
Will Miss Mono please stand up? I think personally, I'm not saying this because I know you. I know Ray personally. This is a dear friend of mine. Her husband and I are really, he's not my friend, he's my brother. We've been rocking for almost a decade and a half. We've been doing some crazy. That's my dog. Listen, although his verses are fire. Miss Mono, I don't think y'all understand. She unpacks a lot in her verse. And I don't see those types of women today. I just don't. And I'm not going to beat up on y'all right now. I'm just making y'all aware that I think y'all should listen to that verse again. And I think y'all should listen to it again. And I think you should listen to it again. And I think you should listen to it again. If y'all need the song, hit me up and I'll see how I can get the song to you. Because I don't even know if it's on the streaming platforms anymore.
I think my husband put it back on Apple Music.
Okay.
And a few other places. I don't know.
I'm gonna play it again at the end of the broadcast. I didn't know that the people on the panel couldn't hear it. Somebody got to mute. They got some static. It's probably you, Jasmine. I'm not sure. You're the newest one on the panel, but hey, Jazz. Look, we don't have time for Jasmine to give her perspective. Jasmine, I'm sorry, you just came a little too late. You can chime in though. You can ask questions and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and put what I want to put on this screen for y'all to look at really quick. All right. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We got courting. Now, part of my stuff is cut off because this thing can't put the whole thing on here. But you got courting versus dating. I think there's a big difference between courting versus dating. As a matter of fact, shoot, I had this up. Let me go find it again. I wanna read something to you guys really quick, so you guys can just kind of understand what I'm about to break down to you. So, dating is a broad, often recreational process for getting to know people to find a significant other, while courting is more serious, purposeful, and a traditional approach with the explicit intentions of marriage. I don't think people understand that. Explicit intentions of marriage. The key difference lies in the goal. Dating aims to discover potential significant others, like I said, whereas courtship aims to evaluate a match for a lifelong commitment and often involves more structure and community involvement, including family and chaperones. So think about this for a second. Let's break down these couple categories real quick. We got the primary goal. In courting is marriage or a lifelong, and I hate the word partnership, so y'all know I didn't put that word in there, but the app that I used to help me create this really quick loves to put stupid words in like partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, get the word partnership out y'all psyche. It's a terrible word because I'm not even gonna go into the details. We'll talk about that later. Marriage or a lifelong situation. All right, whether you legally get married or not, you're committed in this thing for life. Dating is for companionship, fun, and exploring options. It's not to just be like, when people date, people got to understand dating is like rapid fire. It's like boom, 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 boom. While courtship is not like rapid fire. And a lot of you women say that you want to be courted and you really don't want to be courted. You're looking for rapid fire. You won't be honest with yourself. You can lie to yourself all you want. You can't lie to me. All right. The formality, like how the format of it, it's courting is structured. Dating is willy-nilly. When people start talking about how I feel, you are qualified to date. You are not qualified to court. You can think you qualified to court all you want. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not. The moment you keep interjecting your feelings, your thoughts, your perspective, courtship has a structure. Now, if you want to create some type of hybrid, call it something else. Don't call it courtship. Say, hey, courting. I'm courting. If you're courting, I don't know what the hell courting is, but whatever you say it is, that's what it can be. But if you say you are courting, it's structured. Time frame. It's a process. It's a longer process. Dating is flexible. You can just move about it as you see fit. You know how people say we're going with the flow? You can go with the flow when you're dating. You cannot go with the flow when you are courting because you cannot move at your own pace while someone is vetting you for marriage. You cannot do that. It's not about you. It's about the union when you are courting. It can be about you when you're dating. You can date however you see fit. There's parental involvement with courtship, or there's familial involvement. There's community involvement. There's pastoral involvement. There's some type of involvement with courting. It is not you and your vices. You cannot say, this is how I do things. That's fine. Then you have to understand you are not courting. You are dating. Now, there's no parental involvement in dating. I don't know why we got low on here, but low counteracts high. That's why I say it. But it's no parental involvement with dating. Boundaries. Things are strict. You don't just see each other whenever you want. You're not just at each other's house. You don't just do what you want to do with each other. There is boundaries with courtship because it is not just you that's involved in this process. Other people are going to have problems with you doing things however you want to do them. If you're just courting if you're just dating however you want to date, that's not going to fly, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not going to fly. With dating, obviously, more relaxed. You see each other. You know, I said the way I dated, ladies and gentlemen, my house, her house, or the park. That's where you're gonna date me. You're gonna date me in my house. You're gonna date me at your house. You're gonna date me.
11 because my friend.
Hold on. All right. You're not just gonna it is not going to be as structured as you ladies try to interject structure when you're trying to get flown out, when you're trying to have somebody take you to the restaurants you want to go to, when you're trying to manipulate the situation. And I don't mean manipulate in a negative connotation. I just mean manipulate when you're trying to get a favorable outcome that only benefits you. The commitment level. Courting assumes exclusivity. I want to make sure y'all hear that. Courting assumes exclusivity. While dating, you get to enjoy the presence of as many people as you want. You can date whoever you want. When I was single, there was a time where I was dating a multitude of women. And when I say dating, dating consists of just talking on the phone all the way to whatever we decide to do. But it's not that everybody's all the way doing whatever we decide to do. A lot of them are just interactions with via a dating app, via phone calls, text messages. Maybe you never even see this person, but you are indeed dating them. You are entertaining them. You wouldn't be doing that if you was courting. You women cannot court 4 or 5 men at a time. It's not even possible. Because you can't have the intentions to marry all 5 of these men. The evaluation is focus, is on value, is on character. Again, the evaluation of dating is just enjoyment, fun. Women have learned to prioritize fun, and men have learned to prioritize trying to give women fun. And this has been a fundamental breakdown in how we involve ourselves with each other, how we interact with one another. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you agree with what I said or not, is your problem, because I'm right. You need to agree with it. You need to accept it as true. Now, I'm going to bring this all full circle after the men give their time, their opportunity, and then we're going to try to figure out how to bridge this gap and bring y'all all together. And then for y'all that's single, that's out here that's losing, we're going to try to get y'all to winning. We don't want to see no more of our sisters who want to be married or be in a committed, loving relationship. We don't want to see y'all on the outside looking in. We want to see y'all on the inside reaching out to extend a hand to another sister who is struggling to help her get to the promised land. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all tonight. We're going to open it up to any questions. It's a free for all. If anybody got any questions, comments they want to add, please do it now. We do have 6 minutes before the broadcast is supposed to end, but I'm not going to end it if people got stuff they want to say. We're going to let everybody say their little spiel. We're going to play that song again, and we're going to get up out of here. So anybody, Mr. Real Dope Daddy has been waiting patiently in the green room. He's on the stage now. Sir, what do you want to add to the conversation? You muted, bro. Can't hear you. He'll be back. Maybe his mic's not connected. So, ladies, y'all got anything y'all want to add? Any comments? Any questions?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh yeah. I think it was something that was said that I kind of had something to say about, but it's been a little minute since. So if anything pops up that I can add value to, then I will.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you forgot it, only because we don't want to give these ladies too much pushback tonight. We give them a little bit of pushback just for clarity's sake, but we wanted to just listen. Well, at least I wanted us to just listen. So, ladies, did y'all feel heard tonight?
Yes, I did. But I wanted to add, you asked me what I feel like a woman should do earlier.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I honestly feel like first of all, a woman should be stable in who she is. Like before I got married, I literally spent a year praying like in my Bible, just trying to make sure that I was worthy of a good man, of being married to a good man. And then when we did start, I was very clear about my intentions. I didn't play any games. Like I was honest. I said what I felt. I treated him with the same respect that I wanted him to treat me with. And so I feel like that made everything work smoothly because he wanted to get married. I wanted to get married. We wanted to marry each other. There wasn't a bunch of game playing. I didn't feel like I had an ego that he had to try to knock down. Like it just wasn't a bunch of that. So I feel like to answer your question, what a woman should do is be sure that she wants to be married, be sure she's like into the person that she's courting, and be sure that she's stable as an individual.
All right. So look, I'm about to open. This is rapid fire. Okay. This is a rapid fire session. I'm going to post my questions on the screen, and we're just gonna go in a circle. So here, let me we're going to have just the ladies. Is just you ladies. So we want you ladies to rapid fire, not no explanations, just state your answers. All right. And if your answers can be a sentence, but we don't want it to be a paragraph. I should say it could be let's try to keep it one sentence, maybe two, but not a paragraph. Okay. Only because of the sake of time. So y'all ready for these questions?
Yep.
What order is the circle?
Yeah.
We're going Miss Mono, Trinity, Tiara, Jasmine. Me and Real Dope, we're not gonna participate. At the end, Real Dope, you can challenge. I mean, you can ask questions about whatever they say. So just make a note. And Real Dope, if you want to stick up here a little longer, because you may have some questions, we can. The show ends technically in 3 minutes, but we're not gonna end until all these ladies answer these questions, and you can ask them whatever you want to ask them. First question is this.
Men, y'all already know how I feel about that. Men, absolutely. They're supposed to lead, so they have to initiate the relationship.
Okay.
Men, because men are the gatekeepers of relationships and marriage.
Okay. Tiara?
I agree. The men.
Okay. Tiara?
I said men, but I think Will said women. So I'm in the middle.
You know, if I said the goats and the chickens, it's the goats and the chickens because I'm Mr. Moore writer. Jasmine, what you say?
I was going to say men.
All right. So unanimous, men. Got you. I'll read the question out loud, I guess. I should have read the first one. Well, here's the first question. The first question was, who is responsible for approaching the other, men or women? Unanimous, all the women said the men. The next question is, how long should a man talk to a woman before asking her out on a date?
I'm going to give it 2 to 3 phone calls. 2 to 3 phone calls. We should have established if we're interested in going further.
Okay. Trinity?
I'm with my girl Ray. Yep, it's about 2 to 3 phone calls. It shouldn't last any longer beyond that.
Tiara?
I'm in agreement.
Tiara?
I mean, if you see me out in person, you should just ask me out. But if it's 2 to 3 phone calls, I agree with that too.
Okay. Well, let me ask you real quick before we rapid fire too far. If they see you out, it's okay to just ask you on a date the moment he meets you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like if a conversation is had in person, and like if say I meet somebody at the store and we're having a conversation and we exchange phone numbers, he's like, oh, I'd like to see you again. I think a further conversation in person, essentially a date, even if it's just a coffee date, like you should be able to ask me that, because what's the point of having the whole phone thing if I'm standing right in front of you?
Okay, just wanted to make sure we had clarity. Jasmine?
Yeah, I'm actually with the last person. If we're so I would say 3 to 5 minutes if you see me in person and you ask for my phone number. I'm assuming the next question is, can I take you out on a date?
All right, so we're gonna go to the next question, but understand this, ladies. Most people nowadays meet on dating apps, so they don't meet in person as much as they used to, even though that still happens. So I think all your answers are appropriate. I just think that the other ladies may have been, and I don't like speaking for people, but I'm just assuming that because most people meet online and they exchange contact information that way, then maybe that's why.
Well, I would just say 2 to 3 phone calls, because you need to plan a date for me, buddy. Like, you're not about to just walk up to me and be like, hey, let's run to Starbucks real quick. No, like, I want a real date. So it's going to take some time to plan that. That's why I said that.
Y'all gonna love hearing Mr. Moore Writer, how he answered these questions. But I'm not answering them tonight. This is not for me to answer them tonight. Next question, ladies, educate us men. What is a proper date Full details. Now, when I say full details, we are out of time for full details. I don't want to hear full details. Just tell me what is a proper date.
A proper date, if you are taking me seriously, you're gonna come and pick me up, or I'm going to meet you somewhere at a sit down restaurant with tablecloths, okay, and cloth napkins and real silverware, and we're gonna have a meal, we're gonna talk. If hopefully we like each other, and then it's gonna be something after, a lounge, some drinks. I'm going to go home. You're going to go home. You're going to call me and say, hey, I made it home safely. We might chit chat. Good night.
Oh, hey, thank you for that. Hold on, I'm gonna go to Miss Trinity. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if y'all here, quick little intermission, hit the like button. If you hear, just hit the like button. Hit it. I don't know what it do. Hit it anyway. All right. If you didn't share this broadcast, share it. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for being here. Let me be grateful for your attendance. So let me not be this guy asking for things and I haven't shown my appreciation for you just being in attendance. Your attendance matters. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing it. I suggest if you want to be entertained, because this is not all about entertainment on Tuesday nights. This is about growth and development on Tuesday nights. On Thursday, Thursday is a smoke show. Anybody that got any beef with me, don't like what I say, show up on Thursday. And ladies and gentlemen, if your notifications aren't on, you will not know about Thursday. So turn the notification bell on. We go live every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, and then what's the other thing? So like, subscribe, share, comment, and notification. Yeah. Okay, we covered them all. I'm learning. I don't have the ability to do super chats and stuff like that yet. My platform is not big enough. I don't have enough subscribers. So if you can tell other people to subscribe here, if y'all want to see better content, guess what? You know, that little green dollars stuff that helps motivate people to deliver great shows. And it ain't gonna be no fighty catty stuff over here. It's gonna be structure, order, and decorum. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all gonna get a full breakdown of Will Maybon's lexicon. The words I use, y'all gonna understand through and through. And y'all gonna be like, woo, dang, I wish he was single. I won't. But I'm taking. But that's okay. We can develop little mini-me's. And y'all can all get y'all a little mini-me. We can push more mini-me's into the world. And y'all all have y'all a man who loves you, leads you, provide for you, protects you. All right. So that's what we're gonna try to do over here. We're gonna get to the third question. We're gonna get Trinity's answer. Trinity, ladies, educate us men. What is a proper date?
For me, because I'm dating with intention, I'm dating for my husband, I would have to put myself into a position, because I'm not competing, to be recognized as a wife, to later be determined if I'm gonna be his wife. So for me, our first date would be me cooking dinner.
Okay, cool.
And
okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, cooking dinner, and then actually just really getting to know each other without the distractions of anything external outside of us. That for me would be a proper date for somebody who is intending to marry.
Okay. Miss Tiara, was a proper date?
For me, a proper date will be something that the man plans, and he can either pick me up or we can meet at whatever the location is. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a 5-star restaurant. It could be something as simple as a picnic in the park, a walk in the park, coffee. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but I'm looking for that quality time to really talk and get to know one another, not be distracted, not be on our phones or anything of that nature. That's what a proper date is for me. And at the end of the evening, I go home, he goes home, and like the first goddess said, he checks in with me to make sure that I made it home safely, maybe chat for a few moments, and then that's it.
I was told to list my Cash App, ladies and gentlemen. So they said, hey, you don't got no way for people to donate to you yet. So list your Cash App. So there it is. Somebody in the comment section donated to me. I appreciate your donation. Thank you very much. And that's my Cash App. Is just $Will Maybon. You pronounce my last name Maybon. Mabon. Will with one L. If you send 2 L's, I ain't gonna get it. But thank y'all very much. Miss Tiara, what is a proper date?
So for me, I'm pretty easygoing. So as long as there is planning involved, there is an appropriate time frame, like to give me time to prepare myself, and then he's intentional with it. So first date is a little different. I'm kind of go with the flow, like whatever he has planned, as long as it's not at his house for the first date. And then after that, if you can plan a date according to the conversations that we've had, and then that still, if we're in the early stages, gives us the opportunity to be in an environment to still have a conversation, then I think that's the proper date. But I think it really depends on where you're at in the stage, and then also listening to the person to make sure the date fits them.
Okay. Miss Jasmine, what is a proper first date?
For me, I would like to meet you somewhere. Please don't come to my house. I don't know you still. It could be a walk in the park. It could be a date, coffee, something simple. Just a time to actually get to know you. I would like it to be as intimate as possible. I don't want to do a movies because we're just sitting here for 2 hours, and I don't like talking during movies. And dinner is okay. It could be something simple. So for me, just an intimate conversation for the first date, just getting to know who you are. And I will go home on my own. Again, don't come to my house because I don't know you, but I will let you know that I'm home safely. And then if we happen to talk after that, we will. If not, then that's fine by me.
All right. So here we go. Now, ladies, it don't matter. It don't matter. All right. Here's the next one. What is the difference between dating and courting? I'm not going to listen to you ladies' answers because I just broke that down. And remember.
So let's skip the question. You might as well just quit the question. The question is answered, y'all.
Right.
Listen, I don't want y'all to do. We've had a pretty decent show. I don't want nobody to embarrass themselves right now.
It's all right. The question is answered.
Because if I was to ask you ladies this question, after I've already broke it down, you're going to see.
He just gave us a pop quiz, y'all.
Right. He just wanted us to say what he told us to say.
Hey,
he just wanted to hear that.
I'm about to be that one just to get on his name.
Hey, if y'all say anything different than what I told y'all, then we're gonna have a problem.
No, Will just wanted to hear that courting is a partnership.
Oh my God! Look at him! Look at him!
How do I remove?
You about to over the screen.
Remove is crazy.
Mona, did you see his left eye twitch?
Yeah, his whole face was
He's trying to figure out how to hang up on StreamYard.
Look, no, it gets better. Dating and courting is the same thing.
I need y'all to understand something.
He hyped because he can use little. Get out of here,
sir. It's not my fault you didn't tell ChatGPT to take it out of there. You listed it.
No, don't you dare say I use no damn ChatGPT, woman. You better.
You listed it.
Hey,
whatever
said
technology you use
to help me. I didn't say ChatGPT nothing. Okay. All right, we're gonna watch our language around here. Partnership is blasphemous around here.
No, I agree with you. I don't like partnership either. I'm not a partner. I'm a wife.
Listen,
I agree.
I'm gonna tell y'all like this real quick, so y'all know how serious I am about the word partnership. See, I fly 2 airlines, primary and secondary airlines. That's Spirit and then Frontier. People can say whatever they want. Oh, you get that? You right. I'm trying to get to my destination. I'm not trying to pay a lot of money to get a 2-hour flight. I could be uncomfortable for 2 hours. I like my $50 and $60 and $70 round trip tickets when they used to do them. See, I miss those days because of this.
I hope you ain't got to check no bags, man.
Well, I don't ever check bags. It don't matter. I flew to Dubai for 11 days and took a backpack.
A backpack?
A backpack.
For 11 days?
And I took one of those little carry-on suitcases for, I think it was in Japan for 8-9 days, something like that. Anyways, listen,
That's such a man thing.
Listen.
Don't they charge you for carry on?
Yeah, a $50 plane ticket on a plane that has a $30 engine is crazy.
But not only that, they still charge you for the carry on, so you end up still paying the same.
Ladies, listen.
Oh,
Listen.
sorry,
See, y'all not listening. I said when I went to Japan, I took a carry on. When I fly Frontier and Spirit, I take a personal item. That's a backpack.
Yeah, true.
It is what it is. So listen, y'all don't be listening, and I'm not trying to beat up on y'all today. This is the day for me to listen to y'all. Don't make me turn this around. Listen, Spirit can call me the N-word, and I'm still going to buy my ticket and get on my Spirit flight.
Oh wow!
I'm just letting y'all know. Don't use that partnership word over here because that's worse than Spirit calling me the N-word.
Oh wow!
Oh.
I would much rather hear somebody call me the N-word than hear a woman refer to a man as a partner. And then my woman refer to me as her partner, we gonna have some problems.
Why you don't like that?
It don't matter. We'll talk about that.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, let me get back to you ladies' question. Before I get back to you ladies' question, shout out to B again. Cash App. Yep. All right, here we go. What's the next question? All right. Ladies. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Ladies, here we go. Should men be dating or courting you, ladies? This is for the single one. And if you marry women, you married women can respond to whatever. In general, should men be dating or courting?
That's a
Yeah, that's I mean that depends on a woman. That depends on what the woman wants. If she's ready to date, then date. If she's ready to be courted, then now if she wants to be courted and he's not ready to court her, he's not interested in courting her, then she should just bounce.
Well, think about this, ladies, because I don't want y'all to think too far into this. I want y'all to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a society that functions properly. Should men be dating or courting?
Well, in a perfect world, there's only courting going on because my dad and your dad know each other and they said, hey, I think my daughter and your son would be a great match. And so we're courting in a perfect world.
Okay. Trinity, what's your thoughts?
Men should be courting because men are lovers, leaders, providers, and protectors. You see, you got to understand who asked the question. Then that way you can know how to answer the damn answer.
that picking and choosing Will Maybon, Mr. Moore Ryder, the pallbearer rhetoric is flowing out the lips of people. Come on now, Miss Trinity. I appreciate it. Miss Tiara, should men be dating or courting? One of y'all got to mute. That's either Trinity or Real Dope.
For me personally, I would say both. I expect a man to start off with dating because I need to date you before I even find out if it's even worth pursuing courtship for me personally.
Okay. Miss Tiara?
Okay, so personally speaking, I think men should be courting because when you are dating, I feel like you don't really give, whether it's one person or multiple people, the opportunity to allow things to go further because your all is not in there. So you're already kind of stopping yourself.
Okay. I like these answers, ladies. I'm gonna give y'all my answers in a couple weeks. Y'all got to come back for that. Miss Jasmine, should men be dating or courting?
In this utopia, men should be courting ladies.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go to the next one. How would you ladies know if a man is courting you? How do you determine it? Now, I don't even know if y'all ready for that. I'm not even gonna put the pressure on y'all to answer that. I'm gonna stop y'all. If y'all
we ain't scared. What's wrong?
I mean, that's not a hard answer. For me, it's not a hard answer.
I'm a little scared right now.
Hey, well, since it's not hard, we're gonna rotate the direction. We're gonna start.
Wait, I didn't say I wasn't scared.
I know. Listen.
Wait a minute.
Don't do that to my sis. Don't do that.
Well,
I said that, not her.
We'll do this. Look, We'll do this. How about that? We're gonna go Miss Tiara, Miss
I didn't even
Tiara,
know he could do that.
Miss Jasmine, Trinity, and then Ray. Since the heavy hitter, like, you know, proud like that, man. Y'all go last because I want to hear women who aren't ready to answer these questions. And
he did y'all dirty.
That's a setup right there.
it is a setup. It's a setup for a reason. Because sometimes we have monkey see, monkey do, not calling any of y'all monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do behavior on these platforms, and we'll say, yeah, I agree with that. And that's fine. And you probably do agree with it. But could you have come up with that on your own before the person said it before you? That's why it's good to break up the monotony and break up the rotation to let people answer questions. And I like babes in these things, right? Miss Tiara, are you single currently? If you don't mind sharing.
I am, but I've been married twice.
Whoa, okay. We're gonna unpack that at another time. All right, so what we gonna do though? We're gonna change the rotation one more time. We gonna Miss Tiara.
I can't go first no more.
Nope, you
No,
cannot.
no,
You've
he
been married
cannot.
twice.
He ain't right.
That's
Miss Tiara.
crazy. But okay, yes, I am single. For me, it's one main specific thing to know if a man is courting me. It's kind of like you said, like being intentional, dating to marry. If a man isn't dating to marry, I feel like, especially on your list, like the other things that are in there, they won't fall into place because he already doesn't have the mindset dating to marry. So for
Okay,
me, that's the oh.
whoa. Good answer. I need you to articulate that though. How do you determine it? Somebody got them little ones in the back, right? I think that's your side.
That's me. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
um,
Tiara, you got little ones too. So
yeah.
Tiara,
Mhm.
I need you to articulate it if you can. Like, it's easy to just say words dating to marriage. How would you determine he's dating you to eventually court you or court you to eventually marry you? Like, are you looking for anything? Are you paying attention to certain things? How would you determine it?
I think it kind of, again, this is for me personally in my experience.
Yes,
It depends
you
on
personally.
like situation to situation. So some of the things I look for first is I'm very blunt. So I will ask you, like, are you dating to marry? I will ask you, like, like I
Okay.
said, I have kids, so that'll also be a thing. Like, okay, eventually, you will step into a role with kids in the household, things like that apply to my personal life. I don't want to like name everything, get too specific, but I'm very blunt from the beginning, to so that I make sure I don't waste people's time. So the answers to the questions that I usually ask people will usually determine for me if somebody is just dating, kind of feeling around, or if they are trying to be very intentional on the person that they're spending their time with.
See, okay. Thank you. Um, who you got my blood boiling right now, Miss Tiara, boiling
In a bad
because
way?
yes,
Oh,
but I
okay.
can't say what I want to say because this is not the day for that. It's the day for acceptance.
Man, can you come on and let the rest of us answer the question? Because our blood is boiling too.
Miss Tiara, what is the how do you know if a man? I mean, how do you know if a man is courting you? How do you determine it?
So I want to start by saying I'm just gonna give what comes to my mind, but I am by all means a babe in answering this.
Okay.
I would say by observing um, his level of intention and how he deals with me, how he talks to me, how he shows up, and the connection with me will be very revealing and telling of whether or not he's courting me or whether, I'm just a lineup in his roster, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. Miss Jasmine, how do you know if a man is courting you? How do you determine it?
From what I've learned, men, not males, they say basically what they want. So I will take his word for it when he tells me that I want to take this seriously and I want to court you and I want my intention and so on to further this, and seeing if he backs up what he says.
Okay. And Miss Trinity?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't court me.
Okay.
I kidnapped him. Nah.
Cougar,
So
damn, cougar out here. Ray, how you know, Ray, if a man is courting
no,
you?
that was a joke, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
No, this is not IG. I'm not serious. um, no, so okay, so like the previous person said, it's questions that are being asked, right? So it's questions that were asked like if I had a doctor's appointment, A, B, C, and D. Um, and not only that, but also entrusting me with his resources, his money, seeing what I do with it. Because I know dudes that I've come across, they never did that with me. So I knew that it was this time it was different. It was different because of the question that was being asked. It was different because of the family interaction. It was different because of even the circumstances that we both found ourselves in. But for me to just say, oh, he did A, B, and C and D, I really can't pinpoint the exact actions outside of that. It just looked different and it was recognizable, if that makes sense. Not if you agree, but if it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I accept that. Thank you, thank you. Miss Miss Mono.
I want to say I would never ask a man if he's like, I would never ask a man how he feels about me. What are we doing
We
in
don't
this
want to know
relationship?
what you
Where is
don't
this
want to know.
going?
We want to know what
No,
you think. Now, go ahead.
yes,
I'm with you.
I'm telling you, like I didn't ask my husband. He told me he wanted to marry me, and then he showed me because I had all of his time and like my good sis just said, his resources, his time and his money. That's how I knew he wanted to court me.
I try to tell women where a man spends his time and his money tells you a lot, but women don't really understand what I mean, and I'll unpack that at a later time. Thank you, ladies.
Wait,
So
I just want to clarify that I don't ask the men like if they are want to like me. I ask their intentions just in dating in general. So like, are
we
you
got you.
dating to marry?
Okay, we accept that. Sometimes we say things and it sounds like we saying something else, but no, we got you. We accept your adjustment to what you said. Ladies, what actions do you display as a woman who's being courted? Miss Tierra, you're first. Ooh, the boogeyman has
Um,
shown. That question is the boogeyman right there.
this
Ooh,
one, this one, I don't think I am experienced enough to
yeah,
fully answer in a way because I don't think I have been properly courted to the
that's not
extent
why.
to where I could react to it in the way I should properly
Nope, nope, that's
display.
not why. Nope, 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 nope. I'm gonna leave you alone tonight, but I'm gonna just tell you that's not why. Miss Tiara.
Wait, no, you can't disagree with what I'm saying when you don't
Oh,
even know what I've been through.
I don't have to know. I don't have to know. That's the beautiful part about it because it's not a contingency. You ladies make it a contingency. This is why it's re- is based on how you've been courted, and it should not be based on how you've been courted. But that's okay. We'll save the my perspective for another time because I'll give you ladies a little bit of pushback, but I'm not going to beat up on y'all answers. I'm just going to let you know, hey, ooh, we got a problem there. We're going to make a little note and we're going to address it. I will address this. Trust and believe. I will address this, and you will hear my full breakdown of it. Miss Tiara, what actions do you display as a woman who is being courted?
Um, I don't have much experience with
Consistent.
this
Yep.
because I did rapid fire with both marriages. But just what comes to my mind seeing the question, the first thing that comes to my mind is my time and energy and access. So if I'm being courted, um, my actions are going to be respectful. To me, once you're in a courtship, it's exclusive. You're no longer, open to dating other people. So I'm respectful with how I conduct myself. I'm basically already conducting myself as a wife, if that answers your question.
Oh yeah, no, I think your answer is perfect because it's consistent with the other part, right? What was the previous question specifically? It was how would you ladies know if a man is courting you? How do you determine it? And you said you weren't experienced enough to answer that properly. Well, the follow up will be this question: what actions do you display? And it makes sense. So no, I think your answer was perfect. Miss Jasmine, what actions do you display as a woman who is being courted?
Actions I display is respectful boundaries, just being already a wife in a wife state mindset.
Okay, Miss Trinity.
Dad, I was still chewing. I was like, yeah, I got one more person ahead of me. My bad. Hold on.
He
Well, we're
said
going to Miss
rapid
Mano.
fire, so I've been trying to be short and sweet and
Thank you, Jazz. We're gonna skip Miss Trinity. We're gonna go to Miss Mano. Go ahead, Miss Mano.
As a woman who is being courted, I am also investing my time and my money into the courtship. So just like I want all his time, he's gonna have access to all my time. When I'm making decisions financially, we're going to discuss that and how that's going to look in our relationship and then going forward. So
All right, Miss Trinity, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm ready. So what I did was that I developed myself into his preference and remain and then rested in my femininity, and every time we were around I was of service to him because that's what he's going to end up with.
Okay. Thank you, ladies, for that. Here's the we have two more questions. Here we go. Are you ladies also courting the man? And Ray just kind of let the cat out the bag. Thank you, Ray. Are you ladies also courting the man, or is it a one-way street?
I'll say yes.
These are just yes or no, ladies. So, Tiara, did you say yes? That was that you?
Yeah, I'd say yes.
Okay, Tiara,
I said yes.
Jasmine,
yes.
Trinity,
Yes.
Ray.
yes.
All right, last question. If you are also courting him, how would the man determine that you are courting him? Tiara?
I think, I mean, you didn't agree, but I think it would go back to what I said on the first thing. I can't expect something from someone that I'm not willing to give myself. So it would have to be a firm line of communication, like what my intentions are, and make sure that it's known, and then still pursue him in the way that I would want to be pursued. Make sure that I am, showing up in the ways he needs me to show up.
Okay. Miss Tiara? I accept, if it's consistent, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity to answer it.
It is pretty consistent. I would say by the level of access that he has to me, he'll know that I'm courting him as well. The way I show up with my time and energy, the way I pour into the connection, he would know that I'm not pouring into anyone else in that same way and capacity.
Okay. Miss Jasmine?
For me, it would be the reciprocation. Whatever he gave to me to show that he was courting, it will be reciprocated back. Time, energy, and respectful boundaries.
Miss Trinity?
I told him I was going to be his wife. That was it. I told him, I'm going to be your wife. Now, you just have to decide if you want to be my husband, and showed up as the wife he would marry.
All right. Miss Mono?
So I'm actually going
sorry.
to.
There go Mr. Monologue McGad himself in the background. Look at that.
He's taking the
MVP.
dogs out. I'm gonna have to change my answer to the last question to.
Oh, wait, let's go back.
Okay.
This one right here. Are you ladies also courting the man, or is it a one-way street?
Yes, I'm gonna have to change my answer to it's a one-way street, because I feel like with courting, it is the man's job to convince the woman. When you go to court, you're trying to convince someone of something. So if a man is courting me, he's trying to convince me I'm the husband for you. I'm the one you need to be with. So it's his job to court me. It is my job to show myself interested, just as Ruth did by laying at his feet and saying, hey, can you please cover me? So it's my job to let him know, yes, I'm looking to be covered. Yes, I'm willing to fulfill the role of a wife, but it's his job to court me and convince me of that.
I like that you went back and retracted that and changed it, because I've been wanting to give you a little pushback and I couldn't, because I think you've been knocking it out the park. But
I'm
with
married
that,
to your brother.
with that change, though, I don't like that change, ma'am. And I'm gonna tell you why at another time too. But what
Okay.
I'm gonna say is this. Actually, I'm gonna let you answer this question, then I'm gonna come back and say it. So obviously this part will be null and void with your change of your answer, right? Because it will be like, no, I'm not being courted by him, I'm being covered by him, blah blah blah. Okay, I get what you're saying. So I like what you said, but I personally remember how we talked about when Miss Tiara said us the spiritual vetting through the spirit or whatever, how although it can be right, I think the messaging might have to be massaged, because I think people on milk will hear one thing, people on milk will hear something else, and it's okay that they hear something else. We just got to make sure it don't get lost in translation. So although I agree with you, I also disagree with you. It's not that what you're saying is wrong. I just think, and I might be wrong when I push back on you, but I think, and you know, I'm never wrong, so that's kind of hard to believe.
Oh boy.
I think that that is something that we probably should unpack. We should probably wrestle with that a little bit to see if my perspective and your perspective actually lines up. It's just we are saying it
differently. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So I like that you changed it, because I think it gives something to really grab a bull by the horns and try to figure that out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We went 33 minutes over. I appreciate y'all's participation. I appreciate y'all input. I'm going to wrap this thing up with my closing arguments and the song. But before I do my closing arguments, is there anything you ladies would like to say in closing? We're going to start with you, Miss Tiara, and we're going to work around the same order. Then I'm going to say my closing remarks. I'm going to play the song, and we're going to wrap this thing up. So, Miss Tiara.
Yeah, I just have one question from like the beginning. I wanted a little bit more clarification on what, when the initial question was asked, who was the target audience? I know at one point you were talking about like, young women like 16 to 21. When the advice was being given, was it the advice being given to younger women?
No, so this broadcast, and we're gonna slap you on the wrist just a little bit for being tardy, but this broadcast tonight was about from hello to I do. We wanted the men was the target audience to listen. The job today was just for us to listen and try to, well, at least accept what you ladies are saying, whether we agree with it or disagree with it, and then try to gain an understanding by softening our hearts and opening our ears to hear what you ladies are saying and listen to the words that are coming out y'all mouth. And once we understand it, then kind of wrestle with it a little bit and determine if we agree with it or disagree with it. So I want to bridge the gap between basically black men and black women, because this gender war needs to come to an end. It's not going to come to an end. I'm not going to be able to fix it alone, but I'm going to do my part to change the lives of the people I come in contact with. So, Miss Tiara, you desire to be with a man in holy matrimony, and I would like to help you get there, not by coaching you per se, but by breaking down things from my perspective through these live streams. And I think if you grab a nugget or two from each live stream, I think eventually you can make a whole pie out of nuggets, and then you should be able to reach that goal. And that's my hope for you and for any other woman who desires to have that outcome. So yeah, that's what it was just about. And then we're going to do a show hopefully next week where the men are talking and women get to listen. And then we'll do a show following that where we take everything that was said and we do a compilation, so to speak. And it's going to be probably me doing a monologue, breaking down where y'all connect, where y'all disconnect, and what y'all should focus on and what y'all should disregard. So that being said, that's what it was about.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that clarification, because I was listening, so I was here, I was listening, it just didn't come up. It just seemed like it was directed towards like younger women and also like women who are dating within Christ. So that's where I guess the confusion lied for me.
No, it was all people, all walks of life. But no, I got you. I'm glad you caught up. So Miss Tiara, any closing remarks?
I am just wondering if maybe in a future build I know that you and Miss Mono were saying that there needs to be more of like the practical aspects of what me and some of the other sisters were saying. And I would honestly love to hear the perspective shared on that practical side of it, because I do always lead with the through the spiritual lens, but I definitely understand what you guys were saying about that gap being in there. So I think that would be very insightful to hear, I guess, in a future build. And I would also like to say thank you for inviting me to your platform. It's been very insightful. It's helped me gain perspective. So I appreciate the time and energy and the invite.
Thank you, and you're welcome. And thank you for participating. And maybe me and Miss Mono, I'll talk to her offline. Maybe we might do a show together. That third show, Miss Mono, maybe you and I could tackle it together. And then we maybe instead of it being a monologue, it'll be a dialogue.
I'm down.
Yeah. You know, we don't want to use her husband name anyway. We don't want no monologue.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right. Miss Jasmine, any closing remarks?
Yeah. I believe that you can still be spiritual and practical. And I do want to be on that conversation when y'all do talk about from a practical sense, but I don't think there's much of a separation or a gap. And I also think it's unfair to tell people that are looking through a spiritual lens that they should not look through those lenses when everything is spiritual. Everything, we're not really fighting against flesh, we're fighting against spirit. Everything has a spirit behind it. So I think that we should be just being more mindful of what we tell people what they shouldn't do, because it can come off a little bit offensive. Other than that, I appreciate all these ladies and all your advices. I've just learned a lot, even from the little bit of time that I'm in here, because I'm still newlywed. So no shade to anybody, but I pray this is my only marriage, my first and last, ride or die, because I'm learning from everybody's mistake. Like I told Will before, I don't have to jump off a bridge to know that it hurts. So thank you all for being who y'all are.
Well, thank you, Jasmine. You know, we're building a great relationship. I appreciate you, Jasmine, and you know I'm rooting for you and your husband. And you know I got some pushback for him. That jump,
Listen,
that
he did
last
not stop talking
conversation.
about that day. You
Yeah, tell him I'm gonna be on his heels
go.
for at least a couple of weeks till we fix some stuff. All right. So
I
tell him,
feel
but
that.
it was fun chatting with him though. You saw, you was like, oh shoot, we're about to get Miss
I
Trinity.
did. I was like, babe, please don't. You taking it so personal.
Miss Trinity, any closing remarks?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I want to say, like, I am so proud of your growth on this app. I think I was like probably your second follower, so it's like I'm watching you grow, and then to be honored as a guest on your panel, I feel, grateful. So gratitudes to you. Congratulations on your platform. And I also want to say that I am proud of the change in direction that you're going with building, a community of families in a different way, because, this is a different crowd. YouTube is a different field, like TikTok. TikTok is a whole different galaxy. I'm beginning to learn. So I'm loving that you are expanding beyond yourself to do what you are not normally known for. So kudos to you. For those who are in here listening, I hope that you guys have taken something that has resonated with you, if not everything, just something that will have improved your life. I think that we all on the panel would be grateful for your presence, just to be able to help, So as long as we all try to help one, I think we can heal one by one. Are
Thank
you?
you very much. Thank you very much. Miss Ray, and thank you for your presence. Miss Ray, any closing remarks?
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you to everybody on the panel. Thank you to everybody in the comments. I do host a show every Thursday at 8 o'clock called Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. In my show, I take some of those spiritual principles and I break them down into practicality, into some easy tips for righteous living, and even just some natural kind of maybe common sense things that we don't get these days because of the lack of elders in our community who are willing to share with us and help us grow. And you can follow me at Miss Mono's World on Facebook, TikTok, and Facebook, TikTok, IG, and Snap. And my show is on YouTube on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. The channel is Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD.
AD is the last two letters, y'all. Kind of faded a little bit.
Sorry.
MAGAD. So look, thank you, ladies. Miss Tiara, Miss Jasmine, Miss Trinity, Miss Mono. Thank you, ladies, for your participation. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your insight. It's not about agreeing with you, ladies. It's not about disagreeing with you, ladies. It's about hearing you, listening to you, and trying to gain an understanding. So my objective is to accept you and try to understand you, and I'll figure out if I agree or disagree at a later time. So I want to thank y'all. Now I want to close out with my closing remarks. Look, this has been a journey. I think a lot of people got me wrong. A lot of people misunderstand my intentions when they see me or met me on social media platforms like Instagram or maybe TikTok. You got to understand something. I have an objective, and my objective is not for everyone. I do not want to talk to everyone. I'm not trying to appeal to everyone. My objective, my target market are women who are tired, weary, frustrated, broken, lonely, can openly admit they don't know what they're doing and that they need help. And when it's not you who falls into that category, you will find yourself critiquing a broadcast that is not meant for you. If I was broadcasting something about homelessness and you're not homeless, you're driving around in a Bentley, you probably are going to just bypass the message. It's probably not going to resonate with you. But for some reason, a lot of people felt the need to park and listen to a broadcast that they did not agree with, that was not intended for them, and critique it when it is intended for a particular target market that did not critique it. Sometimes they did, but it's usually when they was attached to something toxic, like women who it did not apply to, and they were telling the women, don't listen to that message. Well, guess what? Sometimes messages for you come in packages that you don't necessarily recognize. It's your job to start recognizing and using that discernment when somebody is trying to help you and not harm you. I'm amazed at how we don't see the wolves in sheep's clothing. All the men who get on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and whisper all these sweet nothings in your ear and lead to no practical change in your life. It sounds good and it feels good, but it doesn't lead to anything good. You may not like what you hear me say. It may not feel good what you hear me say, but I promise you, if you do at least some of the things you hear me say, it will improve your outcomes. So the growth that people may be witnessing, as much as I appreciate the kind words of it as growth, it's not growth, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's always been here. What it is I had a new platform, and I said on the new platform, I won't allow people to taint who I am with past experiences of who they witnessed me to be. You will experience who I am here because the objective here is different than the objective is over on Instagram. There's a lot of losers on Instagram. I will talk to them losers the way losers recognize being talked to, because you do not cast your pearls to swine. You do not throw seed on shallow soil. Listen, them people ain't trying to grow over here. People who come to your YouTube page is a little bit more intentional. People on Instagram is just impulsive. So for them impulsive losers, I give them loser speech. And here is my closing arguments on those losers. For those of you out there getting the results that you want, keep doing your thing. I'm rooting for you. I got your back. But for those of you that are losing, do us all a favor. Keep losing. As we transition to Mr. Monologue Magad and his lovely wife, Miss Mono, we're going to close this thing out with King Things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. I hope that you gain something from this. And I hope you stick around and that we have a series, and that next week and the week after y'all get a little bit more. So in that, we say goodbye. And here we go with our song. Enjoy.
One time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't cheat, screaming bond these hoes. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. One time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing on Mercedes bands. Won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah, doing cane things. Living super clean. That done came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I gotta rain. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be his help me, shout let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my foe that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.